Hello folks, welcome back to another video. This is part 8 in our ongoing series, and I'm going to catch you up on what I did offline between the last video and this one. You see, I've placed, as I mentioned I would do, I placed my new companions, my new team members at the base. You can see behind me Luba the Luscious is there doing her entertaining. You can also see that I've upgraded both Mandugai and Luba with full set minus helmets of the heavy armor, and I've completed out my set of medium armor, again also minus the helmet. In addition, well, we had Inigo before, and now here on the blacksmith bench we've got Mutt of Stygia. So we've got 2 out of the X number of handful of particular crafting stations and workbenches and so on that I do need to fill out. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to complete the sorcerer journey. I started it when I was up at Sepamaru by taking on a sorcerer so that I could get the dead sorcerer's map, which tells me where to find the sorcerer's cave. I showed that to you in the last video, and I think I've thrown it away. Yeah, I don't have it here. I know where it is anyway. I'm also going to show you a few things along the way to get there, and some of the things that I'm going to need that it doesn't really tell you right off the bat that you can get along the way to the cave that you will need to finish out the journey. To do this, even though Mandugai is already a level 5, I'm going to take Luba, and for a couple of reasons. One, you can see that at a level 3, I did take Luba around to kill a few things to bring her level up. At a level 3, Luba has almost exactly the same number of hit points as Mandugai does. Luba's tough. Pretty good fighter. So I'm going to hit the E key and tell Luba to follow me. You see that stops the whole dancing. Now, why do I want Luba, other than the fact that she seems to be a little bit tougher, instead of Mandugai? Luba, because she's an entertainer, you can see up in the upper left of my screen there, while I'm in her presence, I'm entertained. That's a buff, but it also will help me shed the corruption that I'm going to gain once I get into the dead sorcerer's cave. So, I believe I've just loaded her up with some food. Yep. All right. I don't have any buff type foods, so I can't enhance her abilities at all. Later on, as I get a little bit further along, I'm going to get some of those. I'll make some of those, and we'll be good to go to increase her like agility, weapon damage, her stamina, and those sort of things. So I'm going to swim over this way. Normally I might consider going over and taking on that tier 4 there, which is good experience, but we've got a lot of stuff we have to do. Okay, along the way here, this is one of the things that isn't necessary, but I'm going to do it anyway. When you start your blacksmithing journey, this is where most people, if you don't go up to Sepamaru, this is one of the places you'll come to get ironstone. Here, and then a couple of other spots that are along the way to where we have to go. There's also a chest right here. This used to be, and I'm still using weak aloe, so I'll go ahead and grab that. Actually, I'm still using rough wraps, and I can always use brick. There's almost everything there. This used to be a spot where there were 2 exiles that you could possibly use for some companions, for your team members. That changed when they added a particular event, and they've never changed it back, which is kind of unfortunate, even though that event is going on and right now, and so there are other spots around here where the people that they put in place to get rid of those 2 exiles, they exist at some of these other spots that are like in the direction I'm pointing here. they never came back to this spot. So that's fine. It's, free stuff in a chest, and it's free ironstone. You don't have to fight anything. Speaking of fighting things, always a good idea to get a little extra meat product and hide. And you see one of these is, in fact, well, actually, no, all of them are aggressive. Move a little help here. There we go. All right, now we're definitely going to skin these. I do want the savory flesh, but I have a fair amount of grilled steak in the thrall pot over there. So I do want the hide as well. All right. So where I want to go ultimately is up there, where I'm pointing, and around, up in that area. But before I get there, I want to go here. And as you'll see, we have imps. And we have an imp cave. And we'll be drawing the attention of more imps here. The Cavern of Fiends, as you can see it's called. It's very dark. It brightens up a little bit the further down you get. You get here and draw as many of these imps as I can. Because once I get down into the base there, we actually are going to wind up drawing the attention. There we go. Oh, no, more just regular imps. Okay. We're going to wind up drawing the attention of a one skull imp boss. And he's not particularly dangerous, except he has this pummel attack. See if he does it to Luba before she kills him. No, she killed him. It is, I don't know, a half a dozen, maybe even up to a dozen rapid-fire punches, which at my level 22 with this armor would probably kill me. All right, the reason I want to go down here is that you need crystals to build a thaumaturgy bench, which is the sorcerer's workbench. You can gather them by hand. You can occasionally get them from ironstone, but where there's large amounts of crystals like this, you can use your pick and get lots of crystal in one shot. So by hitting all of these, I think I get well over 100, maybe close to 150 by the time I've cleaned all this out. Now, I can swing at these individuals. I'm not going to get anything. I can hand pick them, and you get one, maybe a couple at a time. But what you really want is to find those big clusters. I think, as I recall, that's about it for the big clusters. There's not a ton of them. Yeah, wow. All right, so I'm well over 200 already. All right. Better than the last time I went down Alright, I'm going to skin this guy. Again, I definitely want the hide. And skin all the rest of these guys. Not terribly interested in the feral flesh, but it'll give me something else to have as a backup food once I cook it. Alright, you have to be pointing at him, dude. There we go. I did miss one. No, they're still out here. Alright. Get the hides off these guys too. Now there's another ironstone node right over here. Definitely worth it. Now the main place where people get their ironstone when they're down at this end of Noob River and they're starting the blacksmithing journey is right along here. There's this pretty sizable node, and you can hear that sound. See the ghosts just walked by me? The ghosts are telling me that there's something down here. Alright. There we go. And I learned this submissive emote. And I'm going to grab these guys as well. I'm going to throw a couple of things there into Luba's inventory to reduce my encumbrance. Alright, coming back over here, I've triggered the ghosts again. Now, way back in, I think it was the first video, I talked about the lore stone that's on the other side of the shattered bridge. Well, this is the one here. And this explains why the bridge was destroyed, because they sealed the borders to keep, basically keep more humans from coming into the land. So where we want to go is along the path that's along this river in the direction I'm facing. However, there's something up here that we definitely want to get. Not that I ever really utilize it, it's fun. Here in Shaman's Rise is Nunu the Cannibal.
Stay your hand, stranger. Come, look into the pit. The Lord of Empty Abodes awaits therein. I am his shaman, Nunu.
So, and
your coming was revealed to
Nunu
me.
will teach us a new taunt, or a new emote cheer, and he will also teach us the Acolyte of Yogg. So now we can make one of these. This is the shrine for Yogg. It's a fire pit. And you can imagine what they do, since Nunu is called Nunu the Cannibal, what they do with that fire pit. There's a possibility we could get a creature spawn up here, so we'll see. I'll get ready for it. And right there. Not return, attack. How about attack? There we go. So these sort of rock rhino, I don't know what you call these things, beasts, are called rock noses, and they have particular kinds of them. And this is a blood crystal rock nose. I have absolutely no use for blood crystals right now. I will eventually, maybe, but even that's not necessarily a guarantee. But since they're there and they're in the way, you might as well attack them and get some blood crystal. Okay, I got some ironstone and some stone out of them as well. Alright, we're about to come up into an area that is just loaded with hyenas. I want to get close enough that I can send Luba in there to attack. Get their attention. And I can come in. Now, those hyenas that I'm facing at haven't tweaked to us, and those up there were also not in their aggro range. I think I'm actually going to get these guys coming after us. There we go, and Luba has leveled up. That's cool. And more, in this case, hyena pelts, but basically hide. They have to be turned into hide, but essentially the same thing. It'll give you leather. Alright, let's see. Bring the weapon back up. I don't know that we necessarily go close enough to that guy. I mean, we can avoid him. Well, Luba needs the XP. That ain't the one I want. Actually, that would probably give me the hide as well, but oh, I guess we did need to go near that guy because I got to go around him to go where I want to go. I didn't bring the horse just because it's a pretty short run, and I'm not going to gather really anything. Oh, no, that's not true. I might actually gather enough stuff that would require having the horse with me, but, well, we'll see. So from here, you're just running along here. You can see that's the walls of the unnamed city there. There's nothing, once you get past those hyenas, that's of any concern until you get up to the cave. And you can see where caves are in the landscape long before you get them. You notice how the direction of all of the stone, and suddenly it changes right in front of me. How it's just sort of a big pile that's sticking out instead of going up. That's usually an indication of a cave. Sometimes not. Sometimes they throw those in there. It just doesn't make any sense. Now, I'm going to try to fight the first thing that we see in here. There's a bunch of these undead shalebacks, and they're really tough. They don't do a ton of damage. Oh, because it's not facing me. That's why it's not attacking. And also, Luba's not attacking. Why aren't you attacking, Luba? But you see, they're really tough. It takes a lot to do damage to these things. Come on, Luba. So I'm gaining corruption, which tells me that Luba isn't here. And I'm not close enough to Luba. There we go. I guess I had to bring it out to a point where it would damage Luba before she would attack. That's a little weird. Alright, and you don't get anything off of these other than putrid flesh, so I'm not going to bother with it. I am going to heal. But I'm not going to fight any of the other things. Oh, I'm also going to eat something. Or drink something. I didn't realize I was that low. Alright, if you notice in the upper left here of my screen, I am gaining corruption, I'm entertained, and I'm losing corruption all at the same time. And in my heads up down at the bottom middle of my screen, you can see that it's showing my health is reduced by 1 or 0%, and it keeps flickering because that means it's going away and coming back. Now there are 3 more of those things down here, and like I said, I'm not going to fight them because they're tough and they don't give you anything, well, XP, but... So once I get down here, I'm just going to run right past them. So have them come toward me and then just zip. And if they attack Luba, I'll just have her... Whoop, tell her to move. Alright, so you see I've now found the cave. And these things don't follow you up here. Apparently neither does Luba. Come on. Get away from them. Alright, well, we'll see. She's not taking any damage, so that's good. Alright, this is the Tome of Korak. You interact with it, touch it, and see, I've now learned basic sorcery. My next step, there she is to access or place a thaumaturgy bench, but I'm actually going to go over there because there's all kinds of good stuff to get over there. And how do I think about it? I'm going to have to do this really quickly. I now have the Tome of Korak, which I need to place on the bench as one of my steps, but I also have... Or don't I? Oh, there it is. The Arcane Staff. So, this is what you use to cast a spell. And so if I bring that up, click on the left mouse button, that'll bring up those types of spells that I know, and I only know 2 types. This is the one I want to get into, which is the Forces of Nature. Ooh. And I only know one thing in here, which is how to make a frozen bridge. And I want my cursor to be pointed right at where I want that to end. And boom, I have a bridge all the way across. Now, this will only last, I think, a minute. So I want to get as much out of here as I can. So I'm just going to take everything. Or not. Okay? That was more than I wanted. Those idols. Forget that. Forget that. Forget that. Grab these. Take all of that. Definitely take the Elixir of Grace. And alright, quick, is my bridge still there? It is. I'm back across before it dissolves. And run out of here. And again, just avoid all these guys. You know, if you want to fight them, you can. It's up to you. Oh, this guy respawned. Jerk. Alright. Come on, Luba. Get out here. Nice. Alright. That has everything I need to take the next step in the sorcerer journey. I am going to... Wrong weapon. Because if they respawn, then I'm pretty sure the hyenas have respawned. But we'll find out once we get down there. Now this other river goes way, way up in that direction. I mean, it curves around and goes way up in that direction and ends at the massive cliffs that separate this desert lowland area from the forested rainy highlands. And again, we'll get there at some point. Yep, they have definitely respawned. All right. Oop. Okay, there we go. Problem with standing too close to plants. You pick up the plants instead of telling your follower to attack. Alrighty, let's... Oop. Wrong buttons. Let's go after these guys again. Okay. Maybe that was me. That was a masculine voice, that's for sure. I had to look around there to see whether or not somehow, somewhere, some sort of Dafari exile or something came on us. But nope, I guess it must have been me doing that shout. Ooh, that's definitely the wrong thing. There we go. You don't really have any room for the pelts. The problem with them being pelts and not hides. Let's see, that's 14, that's 28, that's 31. So what I'm reading out here is you can see down here where my mouse cursor is, it's showing me the weight of each thing that's in either my inventory or in this case in Luba's inventory. And the crystals actually don't weigh that much. Certainly significantly less than all of that hyena pelt there. Plus, the hyena pelts and hide and everything, most everything along those lines, they stack up to 500. So I've still got plenty of room to put more hyena pelt in Luba's inventory. All right, and now we'll run back. I'm pretty sure the shellbacks have respawned. I don't think the blood crystal rocknose has respawned. That's a pretty long respawn time, I think, for him. Yeah, I'm getting nothing there. So we're going to head right back towards this lore stone and then down this pathway. And ironstone nodes take a long time to respawn. You can see that ironstone hasn't come back there. There's no point in going to try to get any more of the ironstone. I think it's a 15-minute timer for those respawns. But yeah, the shellbacks are definitely here. Have Luba go attack that one while I get some more good stuff off of these two. All right, My stomach hurts. I guess I did need food as well. We'll use that. We'll call that good. Alright, and now...
Yeah.
I guess I will go over and Luba and I will kill that named exile over here.
Attack!
Well, Eric the Slayer got slayered. Oh, nice. We'll take some more feathers. He has a light chest piece. You know what? I think I'll, if I can. Yeah, I'm not over encumbered. Still have some space to put this. I'll take the light chest piece so I can put that on Mutt of Stygia, just so he's not standing around in just rags. And... Oop, wrong one. And also wrong one. Yeah, I'm not going to cast a spell. My microphone is blocking that part of my keyboard. And we're going to go for a swim. Let's see it. Show up. You heard that sound. Sometimes when you're swimming, a crocodile will just sort of spawn near you, which is pretty weird because it sort of lurches out of the water when it first sees you, and it's a really bizarre looking animation, but hey. Alright, so we're gonna get the hides and pelts. We are going to get the hides and pelts, there we go, off of Luba. Put them all here. Do I have any? Oh, that's all of it. Alright, good. And get Inigo, turning those into leather. Luba also has ironstone. Apparently a lot of heavy ironstone. Put that there. We'll give Mutt the armor. I don't really need to because it doesn't give me anything of any particular value, but I'm going to put, if I can find, there it is. When I have the dismantling bench set up and I can break these things down to components, it's going to just break them down to plants, but, you know, you can always use plants. Let's go ahead and get that going. Oh, we got steel bars out of there. Good. And some more brick. Now, I suppose I really shouldn't be wasting time putting all of these things out there when I need to finish the sorcery. So I need to access or place the bench. I'm going to replace the arcane staff with my construction hammer. Which for some reason, there we go. Brain's not working well. Bring it up. Now, crafting stations, sorcery is now something we have, and we have the bench needs 300 stone, 50 crystal. See, that's why I stopped at the cave, and 50 iron bar. All right, 50 iron bars. We'll just take half of that. How encumbered am I going to be with 300 stone? A lot. Okay. I guess I'll just do it anyway. Question is, am I going to make 300 in this little area? I think so. In fact, yeah, right there. Alright, I'll put the tool away. You do move a little bit faster if you're not holding a weapon or a tool in your hand when you're over encumbered like this. But again, this is me running when I'm encumbered or over encumbered. All right. I guess I'll put my sorcery bench over here. Yeah. Our thaumaturgy bench. Okay, I think I mentioned this before, but this is another way to make it so you're not bouncing around quite so much when you're moving side to side as you're trying to place something. Just be over encumbered. It really... so now I need to upgrade my Tome of Korak. So I need to place it in my inventory. And to do the upgrade, I'm going to need, a Sorcerer's Spell page. Putrid meat, and some stone. Well, stone I got. Putrid meat I got. I might have grabbed a Sorcerer's Spell page when I was at... I did. Nice. In fact, I got a couple of them. I'm going to go ahead and throw the feathers in there because that's something I need pretty quickly. Human flesh, that's actually not enough, but I'm going to actually need some savory flesh in there for a couple of stages. All right, so you see this is green, the recipe Tome of Korak. I click on it. I've got everything I need to do the upgrade, so I click Craft. And I stand in front of the bench as though I'm casting a spell, which I guess I am. And those things there are... the first two were things that it wants you to do for a much later stage of learning sorcery, which I mentioned, that's one thing I am going to cheat on, and we'll get into that later on. The other two are ways of actually creating a green light that will either follow you, well, basically it follows you around, so you don't need a torch. And it's actually pretty cool. Alright, so I need to cast a spell. And I had already taken my arcane staff off of my hotbar, so I'll put it back on, bring it up, and like the archery stage where it says to power shot an enemy and you don't actually have to shoot, I don't actually have to cast the spell, I just have to bring up like I'm about to cast a spell. So I click on the right mouse button while you're in that stage, and it just cancels it out. And that's it. The journey step is done. I go to... So it gives you this Acheronian Legate armor. I've never used it. It also said it gave me... Oh yeah, failed sorcerer spell pages. These are other things you can get from sorcerers, and every 10 of these you can, once you've got a sorcerer on the bench here, convert into sorcerer spell pages. And I was looking over here, I saw that I had Iblets of Zingara. Do I have? I don't have a sorcerer in there ready to go. Alright, so I'm going to need to get a sorcerer out of Sepramaru at some point. But right now we're at 40 minutes, which is a pretty good time to call this a video. We'll put Luba here to stand guard. And as soon as you have them stop following you, it'll take a second, and then Luba will kick into entertainer mode. There we go. All right, so that's it. Next, I will probably do the alchemy stage so I can get Iblis on a bench. I'll head up to Sepper Maru. I might do the Sepper Maru run offline just because I don't think there's anything up there new that I can show you. You've seen where the sorcerers are, and I'll just go around until I can find Apshara the Summoner is the one that's up there. I could go down to the beginning of Noob River. There is a fairly sizable Dafari camp down here, and there are a couple, three actually, sorcerers. Often there's one there that is a tier 4, but they're not friendly. You have to fight your way through them, which means you have to kill all of the ones except for the one that you want to knock out, and it's just more of a challenge. Whereas I can just get on the horse, ride to Sepper Maru, run around a couple of times until Apshara the Summoner shows up, knock them out, convert them, and ride back. But anyway, that's what I'll do in between, and then I will see you in the next video, which will be episode 9. In the meantime, thank you very much for joining me. If you liked this video, do please give it a thumbs up. If you like this or any of the other videos on Nerd Caliber, or just like Nerd Caliber in general, and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. If you didn't like the video, give us that thumbs down and give us the engagement. Put a comment in the comment section, and all of its engagement, all of it's good for us. So we'll see you at the next video. Stay safe and have fun. Bye-bye.